we want to do actually is that we'll just run something simple. We can send the message and we echo it back to ourselves to see how this works. Now, so we're going to get the message in which we're going to be receiving the data inside this text data. Then from there, we're going to now send it back. Self dot send. Okay, I'll wait. Self dot send. Then we're going to say JSON dumps. Then let's have this as, right? So we're going to say you set, and we'll add message here. So with that, I think this is it. Then I have it like a chat HTML here, something is JavaScript, an HTML with the script for connecting to WebSockets. So with this, just something simple with field, and then a WebSocket connection. This is the URL defined on the routing. So make sure you're always consistent with that. Now let's run our server. This is usually the front end. This is for the purpose of us seeing what we've done. But it's usually the front end developers that will do this and then consume what you've done. Right? So we proceed with running our server, python manage.py run server. Okay, so most of what we've created, we need to actually import them. So from this is inside our routing. So here also on our routers or routing, we also need to from post.consumer, we need to import that. Yeah. Right, so it's running. So we get back to our HTML code. Where is that? Chat HTML, open it on our browser, and this is what we have. So we're going to send whatever, and then there is an issue, it's not sending. So you can see the message here. Cannot import channels specified by default. Okay. So that's error we're having. Right. So this is not correct. So it's channels dot layer dot in memory dot layers dot in memory channels layer. So let's make sure this is running. So can we see any Daphne here? Let's close this. We run our server. Right. Let's refresh this page and send a message. Right. So we can see that something is working, but something is not working right. We've connected to our WebSocket. You can see this. However, a message is not returning, getting undefined. So let's trace that now. In our consumers, it must be from there. So we have said message. So choosing a data. So what could be the problem? Let's print this here. Okay, we're meant to send this as a message, right? We're meant to send this as a message as a HTML. So you can see it's meant to receive as a message. So let's revert this. Where is our consumers here? Now we're going to have this as a dictionary, right? And then we have message, a message, and this, right? I'm going to close this and allow this to reload, and let's try this out again. Send redeem uncaught type error. Send message. Okay, we still have an error. There's something wrong with this. Let's see. Await self.send text data. JSON.dump. Let's see what the problem is. This is a dictionary. Then inside the dictionary we have a string. Message. Let's see. Let's just have this as hello and see what happens. Okay. Now before we proceed, I think I should talk a little bit about debugging. Now, when programming, there is something very important you should be doing as a programmer. It's what we call debugging. Debugging is the process of finding errors when there seems to be an anomaly with your code, right? For the sincere truth is that this is what most programmers or most of us do most of the time. We debug about 60% of the time and do the normal stuff the other 40%. You can imagine the length of percentage it takes because most times things don't always work as you thought, or there could be a simple error or whatsoever. But the truth is, you will always debug. You always run into something that you need to find solutions to. Now, how do you now actually get to debug? To debug, you should learn to Google. We have AI tools all around there that are able to help us properly debug. So we can utilize all of this to actually debug and get any confusion cleared up. Right. So having talked a bit about debugging, let's proceed trying to debug what our current problem is. So hope there is no, I think the error is from here. Like you can see, that was a JavaScript error. I just needed to mention that debugging, right? So here's our consumer here, right? Then we revert it back to this message and we close this, right? WebSocket, this is reloading. To refresh this page, we have this was sent, right? So you can see you said heck, what we typed here, hello Sam. So once we send this, you can see, and you can see that the tunnel is maintained. This is how you can utilize it within your app. You can see how important this is. It keeps the communication open such that you don't do multiple requests, the tunnels are open, and then you just make messaging easier and bi-directional. And with this, there are other broader aspects of this. You can talk about the authentication within it. You can also talk about um, you can look at rooms, having rooms where you're going to speak with another person, where you're also going to have to speak with plenty of people, like in a WhatsApp group and all of that. So that's how complex it could be. The more you advance in your career, you get to know this or learn this better. So that's it with our Django channels. So like we've seen already, we built it. I'm going to send real-time message, and of course brings a response. So from here, you're going to have your quiz and see you right back. Oh, make sure you pause and take your quiz. Then from there, right, Your capstone project is, of course, as usual, redo this, ensure you get it right, make sure you get it right, and ensure that you've thoroughly understood what was going on. If you're confused at any point, make sure to ask your questions. Ask your questions. I mean, the best of us makes mistakes, the best of us run into errors, and that's what I talked about upon debugging. You get to encounter message things that you didn't expect. So this is the necessity for having to ask questions. Do your research, ask the community in the community, and get your problem solved. Right. So ensure you try out. You've checked this from your success criteria, and the next week going to go more in depth into other core concepts that you'll be needing as a programmer. See you in the next section.